What's good, folks? It's your boy Isaac, aka Polo, back with another edition of Polo Talk Sports. You know what it is, man. We got another edition of Polo's Power Rankings Quarterback Edition. This makes part 3. And you know the drill, man. You know how it goes. Let's get right into it, man. Last edition, we had Patrick Mahomes ranked number 1. He's trending down. We had Jalen Hurts ranked number 2, trending up. We had Aaron Rodgers at number 3. He's trending down. Josh Allen at number 4 is trending upwards for show. And Lamar Jackson at number 5, he's remaining neutral, man. So let's get right into it, man. So number 1, my guy who flies high with Meek Mill when they pop willies and ride bikes, you feel me? Jalen Hurts, man. You know who it is. Balling with the Birds, QB1 of the Eagles. Sounds familiar to me. He's got only 6 passing touchdowns to 2 interceptions, which is a solid ratio. About almost 1,600 passing yards, but he also has about 300 rush yards and 6 rushing touchdowns, which I think is leading the league, or it's probably tied for the league lead. And the Eagles, they're 5-0, man, or 6-0, 5-0, whatever. They're undefeated, man. Last remaining undefeated team in the NFL, and that means something. Next up, we got Josh Allen, the boy from the Valley himself. You know, he's right here from Reedley, California to Wyoming. Now he's out there in Bills Mafia and he's eating. Him and Stephon Diggs are on a different wavelength. They're this season's Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford. They just know something that other people and definitely other defenses just don't seem to know. Feel me? They're eating. Super Bowl favorites. They're up there at 5-1. Had not too much of a rocky start. They just had that early season L to the Miami Dolphins, who looked really good at the time. Not so good at this point, but the Bills have stayed the course. They just beat the Chiefs, which heavy hitters. And that brings me to the next guy on the list. I got Patrick Mahomes, man. Patrick Mahomes is still him. I still have him in that top 3. Those 3 are probably my top 3 MVP finalists right now. 4th, I wouldn't even put a quarterback. I'd put Saquon Barkley up in there. But that's a story for a different day. So Josh Allen, in terms of stats, number 2. Let's go back up. 1,900, almost 2,000 passing yards, 17 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, another 260 rush yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. So, this man has already had like 2,200 yards worth of offense, 17 pass touchdowns, another 2 rush touchdowns. So another 20 touchdowns already, and they've only played 6 games, man. He's eating. Mahomes at number 3 on the list has 1,700 36 pass yards, 17 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. Him and Josh Allen are the same person, but slightly different. Mahomes is a little better, but not at this point in the season and not moving forward from here on out. We'll see what happens. Next up, number 4, we got his first appearance on top 5. Obviously, a lot of people think he's a top 5 quarterback, but to this point, I haven't seen him perform better than 5 other quarterbacks. But at this point, he's been the model of consistency, and that's the boy down there in LA, not Matty Statty, but Justin Herbert, man. Obviously, the chosen one, the future of the league, so they say. I haven't seen it to this point, but to this point, the Chargers have been pretty nice. They've been pretty consistent. They have that loss to the Chiefs, obviously, but I believe they're at 4-2, and they look pretty solid. Austin Eckler, he's a little bowling ball in that offensive backfield. That he helps Justin Herbert out a lot, but he's been missing Keenan Allen, and he's still putting up crazy numbers. He didn't look too good versus the Broncos, but that Broncos defense is special. We're not even going to mention Danger Russ because that man is broken. But Justin Herbert looked solid, and that was probably one of his worst performances in the victory of this season. So, that's top 5 quarterback material to me. 1,700, 16 pass yards, 10 passing touchdowns, 3 interceptions, solid. Good numbers, great ratio. Next up at number 5, like I said, I just got Action Jackson on here. This was close. I wanted to put Joe Burrow, because Joe Burr I wanted to put him into the top 5 because he's started to turn up. They got that dub versus the Saints this past weekend. But, I just didn't believe it. And when the Ravens and Bengals went head to head, which they did the week before this past week of games, Lamar Jackson got the better of him and got the dub. So I couldn't put Joe Burrow above Lamar Jackson, even though Lamar Jackson did have a very tough L to the New York Giants. 5-1, baby, we up. But he did look pretty terrible in the second half of the game. It needs to look terrible essentially for the second half of, it seems like, every game this season. Even though they blow teams out in the first half, sometimes they're not able to finish it off. And this past Sunday was a prime example. Lamar did choke versus the New York Giants, but we're really special, especially our defensive unit and our new morale around the team. So don't even trip off Lamar. He'll bounce back and he'll have a MVP type season in terms of numbers. We'll see who will actually end up getting the award, even though it's going to be Jalen Hurts or Josh Allen is another honorable mention. But we'll see at the end of the day. I still think Lamar Jackson will do Lamar Jackson things, so he makes 5 on the list. My honorable mention, as I mentioned before, is Joe Burr. Obviously, Jamar Chase and them boys, they're starting to heat up. They just got another dub. I believe they're 3-3 as well, just like the Ravens. And, we'll see moving forward what the top 5 looks like. But that concludes this video. And you know what it is, man. We out.